All right, Shalom. First off, I'm going to start out by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ruach HaKodash. Yahweh being the Heavenly Father's true name, Yahweh Shai being the name of his only begotten Son. Giving double honors unto the elders and the apostles, a great millstone who rule well and teach well. And peace, blessings, and salutations to all you Wakim throughout the four corners of the earth, continuing to push and do the works in truth and in sincerity. All right, this is the brother Mashah, one of the men coming up under the branch out here in the morning camp. I'm here with a quick lesson through the Spirit, and this lesson is going to be inspired off of my read that I'm in, which is in the book of Judith, and pretty much going into how right now, okay, the times that we're in, all right, we've been connected back to our power source, all right, and our main power source, or overall, okay, the one and only power source being Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, all right, through this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that we have right now, all right, so. Without further ado, I'm gonna start off with this with that precept in Judith chapter 5 and starting at verse 11. Well, so like not 11, but I could start at the top, but pretty much I'll just get to the point. And just quick overview of this chapter. Pretty much Holofernes, which was the captain of the guard, I believe, captain of the guard of Nebuchadnezzar. He was pretty much, he gathered up a whole army and he was trying to pretty much conquer and have everybody worship him. But the children of Israel, they weren't going to do that. And they pretty much they set up for war. And he heard about it, but he was angry about it, and then he called together, I believe, some of the other armies, and he was speaking out to them and asking them. But so like let's let me find it real quick. I'll just get to verse 17. But pretty much it was one of the I believe the captains of the Ammonite army, which his name was Achior, So but this is Judah chapter 5 and verse 17. And whilst they sinned not before their power, they prospered, because the God that heareth and hateth iniquity was with them. But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles very sore, and were led captives into a land that was not theirs, and the temple of their power was cast to the ground, and their cities were taken by the enemies. But now are they returned to their power, and are come up from the places where they were scattered, and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the hill country, for it was desolate. All right, so pretty much he's going into the history of how Jake, was delivered out of the hand of the Egyptians. The Lord led them through the wilderness. They came into the promised land, but they sinned. They went off, and that's when we got jacked up for going off. And he's pretty much telling them, the history, right? Verse 20. Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error against this people, and they sin against their power, let us consider that this shall be their ruin, and let us go up, and we shall overcome them. Okay, so he's telling them right here, like, look, the only way we're going to get to these people and get them is if they go off and they err, and they go off and sin against their power, Verse 21, but if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them, and their power be for them, and we become a reproach before all the world. All right, and that's plain, okay? Because the only way we prosper is by doing right and following the law, statutes, and commandments which Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua gave unto us. All right, because like it says in Isaiah, let's get that real quick. Isaiah chapter 42 and verse 25. So like in verse 24. Isaiah 42 and 24. Who gave Jacob for a spoil and Israel to the robbers? Did not the Lord, he against whom we have sinned? For they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law. Therefore hath he poured upon him the fury of his anger and the strength of battle, and it hath set him on fire round about, yet he knew not, and it burned him, yet he laid it not to heart. All right. So hey, that's the reason why the Lord gave us up. Why? Because we sinned against him. All right, we went off, you know. So that's why the Lord allowed these nations to jack us up. All right. So like it says in Deuteronomy, let's get that real quick. I believe Deuteronomy 20 and 64. I don't think it's 64, but Con, this Deuteronomy chapter 28 in verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. Okay, so this is the whole reason why Jake is getting jacked up to this day. Okay, for simply not doing what this precept says. All right. It says, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. Okay, all Jake simply had to do was keep the commandments. All right, and follow what the Lord said. But Jake didn't want to do that. Jake wanted to do their own thing. All right, and follow their flesh. All right, and really, I'll read on verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever, because thou servest not the Lord thy power with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things. Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, until he have destroyed thee. All right. So this is exactly what's happening right now. Okay, we're in our enemy's land, and we're serving them. All right, for the want of all things. Okay, that's why Jake is under Esau right now, and you got to go to him for all things. All right, you can't just that's why you know, it's like you got to have a license to, you know, to do a lot of things. You can't just do things on your own. All right, you know, and many, you know, the list goes on. You can come up with many different examples on that, you know, but pretty much that's exactly what what's going on right now. Right, but going back to Judith, chapter 5, and yeah, that's pretty much the point. I'm gonna reread it again. But if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them, and their power before them, and we become a reproach before all the world. All right, so this is the point I wanted to harp on, okay? Because now in this time that we're in, okay, the elect, all right, the elect have returned onto their power, all right, or onto Salakia, the elect, all right. I didn't mean to say we, but Salakia, I didn't mean to, you know, say it in a way like I'm calling myself the elect, but you know, of course, we hope to be the hopeful elect, but the men of the Lord, okay, the hopeful elect have returned onto their power, okay? All right. At this time, only the elect are going to return and serve Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua in truth and in sincerity, right? Let's go to Ezekiel. Ezekiel chapter 37, and starting at the top. The hand of the Lord was upon me, and carried me out in the spirit of the Lord, and set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones. All right, and this valley, okay, pretty much is this valley, which is full of bones, is pretty much symbolic of Jake, okay, being in a dead state here in America. All right, because like it says in Revelations 11 and 8, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. Okay, but verse 2, and caused me to pass by them round about, and behold, there were very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Lord power, thou knowest. And he said unto me, prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O you dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord power unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live. And I will lay sinews upon you, and will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and ye shall live, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. So I prophesied as I was commanded, and as I prophesied there was a noise, and behold, a shaking, and the bones came together, bone to his bone. And when I beheld, lo, the sinews and the flesh came upon them, and the skin covered them above, but there was no breath in them. All right, and pretty much this is going into what? Jake waking back up to their nationality, all right, to who they truly are. And this is the times that we're in right now, right? Verse 9, then said he unto me, prophesy unto the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, thus saith the Lord power, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived, and stood upon their feet, an exceeding great army. All right. So this is the times that we're in right now. Okay, that breath has definitely entered into the hopeful, the elect. Okay. And that's so like verse 11 is the point. Then he said unto me, son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say, our bones are dried, and our hope is lost, and we are cut off for our parts. Right. So Jake pretty much is in a dead state, not knowing and not having hope, okay, of anything, right? That's the times that or that's the state that Jake was in prior to this truth coming out, okay? That 3 days and a half, right? Starting from 1619, around that time, all the way to about 69 to 70, that time period right there, which is roughly about 350 years, right? That's Jake. Jake, the majority, a lot of Jake didn't know their nationality and who they were. Okay. Let's get Wisdom of Solomon to prove what that breath is. Wisdom of Solomon 7 and verse 24. For wisdom is more moving than any motion. She passeth and goeth through all things by reason of her pureness. For she is the breath of the power of the Most High, and a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty. Therefore can no defiled thing fall into her. Okay, so that's what that breath is. Okay, that breath is this wisdom that we have. Okay, which is a pure influence from the Most High. All right, that's the breath of the Most High, and that's what has entered back into the elect. And now now the men of the Lord have stood upon their feet, okay, an exceeding great army, all right. And tying back to the main point, that's how we are connected. That's how the elect, all right, or the hopeful elect are connected back, and that's how the hopeful elect, okay, are connected back to their power source, all right. So, but that was pretty much the point of this lesson. Just pretty much going into how Jake is kind of, we were disconnected, from our power source, but now in the times that we're in now, okay, we have definitely been connected back to our power source, which is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, okay, through these scriptures and the wisdom and knowledge and understanding that we have. All right. So, but that was pretty much the point. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash, for putting the spirit upon me to do this lesson. Giving double honor unto the others and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. And peace, blessings, and salutations to all you walking throughout the four corners of the earth, continuing to push and do the works in truth and in sincerity. With that, shalom.